Hey, welcome. Let's kick things off with a pretty big idea. What if all that time you spend online wasn't just for scrolling and watching videos, but was actually putting money in your pocket? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into. We're breaking down a really practical guide on how to make that happen. Let's get to it.
So let me ask you this. When you hop online, what's the main reason? Is it just for fun, to catch up on social media? Now, just imagine for a second, if every one of those clicks wasn't just about consuming something, but was actually creating real value and real income for you. That's the huge mindset shift we're going to explore.
Yeah, so we're pulling from a guide that's just packed with road-tested methods for turning your online hours into actual income. You can think of this whole explainer as your personal treasure map.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the big picture. Then we'll dive into 3 totally different ways you can go. Building your own thing, using the big platforms that are already out there, and selling what you can do directly. And then we'll tie it all together with a solid strategy to actually make it work. All right, let's jump right in with our first section, turning clicks into cash. Look, the online world is absolutely bursting with opportunities, but let's be honest, it can feel like this giant unmarked map. It's super easy to get lost. So the very first step is to simplify the whole thing.
Now, what's so great about this source material is how it just cuts through all the noise. Instead of giving you a massive, confusing list of 100 different things you could do, it boils everything down into 3 super clear core paths. You either build a digital asset you own, you leverage platforms that already exist, or you sell your skills directly. That's it. This makes it so much easier to figure out where to even start.
Okay, so path number 1 is all about ownership. It's about building your own digital asset. And we're not just talking about throwing up a quick website. No, this is about creating your very own piece of online real estate that's out there working for you 24/7. So how do you actually build an asset? Well, you could create a niche website and become the #1 source for something you're obsessed with. You know, anything from rare houseplants to 80s movie trivia. Or you could start a blog and build this amazing loyal community with killer content. And then there's B2B marketing, which is really just creating a platform that solves a specific problem for other businesses. But you see the common thread here, right? In every single one of these cases, you own it. You're in control. And that brings us to the magic word, monetization. This is the absolute key. It's the step where your passion project starts paying the bills. You do it by strategically placing some ads, maybe selling your own products, or offering special services. This is how you flip the switch and turn your digital asset into a real live income stream. Now, maybe building something brand new from scratch just isn't your thing. And that is totally okay. That's where our second path comes in. This one is all about leveraging the insane power of the online giants, using their huge built-in audiences and their systems to your advantage.
You know, a classic example that actually ties back to that first path is Google AdSense. So if you did build that website or blog, you can team up with Google to put relevant ads on your pages. Every time a visitor clicks one of those ads, you earn money. It's one of the most direct ways to start monetizing your content.
Then there's another massive one, affiliate marketing. With programs like Amazon Associates, you can recommend products you love on your site, and if someone clicks your special link and buys something, boom, you get a commission. It's absolutely perfect for those niche blogs that review stuff.
And of course, you can sell things directly. Platforms like eBay, Amazon, and especially Etsy, if you're crafty, give you instant access to millions of customers who are already there, ready to buy. You could start just by selling things you have lying around the house, or you could turn your hobby into a full-blown business.
And the list just keeps going. You could earn money in your spare time doing these little micro tasks on Amazon Mechanical Turk. Or you could use the power of LinkedIn to connect with and land big sales clients. Or you could sell your own music, your podcasts, whatever, directly to a global audience on iTunes. The variety of platforms you can tap into is just incredible.
So that brings us to our third and final path, selling your skills. This is probably the most direct route to earning money. It's not about building a platform, it's not about using someone else's, it's just about getting paid for what you already know how to do.
Yeah, this path is all about taking what's already in your head and turning it into cash. For instance, instead of building one website for yourself, you can get paid really well to build websites for other people as a freelancer. Or instead of just marketing your own thing, you could be a B2B marketing consultant for big companies. And check this out. The source even pointed out some really fascinating niches, like getting paid to edit Wikipedia pages for companies. Seriously, businesses will pay experts to make sure their pages are accurate and professional. That's a skill you could totally develop.
Okay, so we've laid out the three main paths. But having a list of options is one thing. Actually turning any of this into profit, that's a whole other ballgame. This next part is all about strategy.
So if you take away only one thing from this whole guide, it should probably be this. Do not try to do everything. It's the fastest way to fail. You'll just spread yourself way too thin. The advice is crystal clear. Pick one, maybe two, methods that really speak to you, and pour all your energy into becoming great at them.
And this really lays out the three pillars of success perfectly. First, focus your efforts, like we just said. Second, whatever you decide to do, make it high quality. Doesn't matter if it's content, a product, or a service. Quality builds trust, and online, trust is everything. And third, you have to constantly optimize. Keep an eye on your results, figure out what's working, and then do more of that.
So why go through all this trouble? What's the real motivation here? Well, because the payoff can be absolutely massive. Just look at this. This chart shows you the three huge advantages of so many of these online income streams. That low investment bar, it means you can get started without a ton of cash. Flexibility, that's the freedom to work whenever and wherever you want. And scalability, that's the big one. That's the potential to grow your income way, way beyond what a normal 9-to-5 job could ever offer.
So as we start to wrap this up, let's bring it back to those three core ideas. Which one are you? Do you see yourself as a builder, creating something from scratch that's all your own? Or are you more of a leverager, cleverly using the power of platforms that are already out there? Or are you an expert, ready to sell your knowledge directly to people who need it?
Look, there's no right or wrong answer here. But the most important thing, the only thing that matters really, is choosing a direction and then actually taking that first step. So the final question I'm going to leave you with is pretty simple. What's your first step going to be?